How many congressional candidates can you squeeze into one public event? Sounds like the setup to a mildly humorous joke. But in the crowded 3rd District congressional race, it's actually a completely serious question. Adam Riley has more.
For the record, last night in Hudson, the answer was 13. 13 Democrats packed the stage at the Portuguese Club, sitting awkwardly close together and weighing in on everything from the environment to surveillance to President Trump. And get this, that wasn't even the whole field.
I'm Jeff Ballinger, running for Congress, and I think we need an organizer in the Democratic caucus down there in Washington.
Ballinger is the 14th candidate in the race, and yesterday his existence seemed to take the others by surprise. They were still buzzing about another new entry, Lenny Golder of Stowe.
I think we can do better in terms of tax policy, job growth, health care.
Even if you are obsessed with local politics, you've probably never heard of either Golder or Ballinger. But other candidates should be more familiar. There's a state senator, a former top aide to Boston Mayor Marty Walsh, a former nominee for lieutenant governor, and a former U.S. ambassador turned reality TV star. What's more, the MA3 race is packed with potential firsts. Bij Das would be the state's first Indian-American congressman, and State Rep Juana Matias, the first Latina in our delegation.
I saw both of my parents take on factory-level jobs so that they could provide me and my 3 brothers with better opportunities.
Then there's Bopa Malone, who'd be Congress's first ever Cambodian American, and Alexandra Chandler, who'd be the first transgender U.S. representative.
I'm a Russian-speaking lawyer and former intelligence community leader. I can serve as a check on the Trump administration like no other.
It's a diverse field for a very diverse district. The Mass Third stretches from the New Hampshire border to the middle of the state and includes urban Democratic strongholds like Lowell, conservative enclaves like Draycott, and leafy liberal bastions like Concord. So is there any particular sensibility that ties the third together? Chris Lasinski, who's covering this race for the Lowell Sun, says there might be.
There seems to be some sentiment among people in the district that they're proud of their district, and outsiders kind of get a bad look here.
Which could be bad news for Dan Coe, who moved into the third after Congresswoman Nikki Tsongas announced she was getting out. Then again, Coe's already raised $1.6 million, more than any competitor. Whoever wins the primary won't have a free ride in the general. Republican Rick Green, the CEO of 1A Auto, is waiting in the wings. Still, the eventual Democratic victor will have the confidence that comes from beating 13 opponents, and maybe, at this rate, 1 or 2 more.
I've got a headache, but Adam's here anyway. Adam, good to see you. Is Coe the only one who moved from out to in? Or is
Coe is not, and Coe actually grew up in the district, left, and now has come back. Rufus Gifford, I believe, grew up in Manchester by the Sea and now has moved into the district to run. Also, Bij Das, he says he has strong connections in the district.
So is that 13 or 14, whatever it is? Is 13, that a baker's dozen of liberal Democrats just in different outfits and different heads?
There are some slight differences when it comes to policy where they stand on single-payer health care, for example, what they want to do transportation-wise. But the biggest difference I saw last night is polish. There are some of these people who are clearly ready for prime time, others who have a steep learning curve.
You know, when I ran for city council, I can't believe you didn't cover that race, by the way.
I apologize, yes.
There were like 20 candidates or something. Every debate was more ridiculous than the one before because he couldn't remember what the first one said by the time he got to the last one. Was there any value out of this?
I actually think that the moderator did a really good job. He had a different question for groups of 3 or 4 people. He'd mix it up, mixed the groups up. He did terrific. I talked to him today, and he said he was exhausted.
Who is he? Good for him.
Chair of the Marlboro Dems, I believe his name is Kurt Hurley. I hope I'm getting that right.
One last thing. A governor's race, really high profile. Yep. A U.S. Senate race, national attention. Some ballot questions that are going to be huge. How is there going to be any oxygen left for this race come the fall? I know it's a primary before November.
I think it's really hard to get into covering it aggressively now because there's just too many people. You can't give all of them a chance to get their pitch in. However, if hypothetically you had potentially the first transgender congressperson elected in the country or some other big first, I think that will get the press interest. By the way, we will have video online of all 14 candidates as it now stands making their 30-second pitch to voters.
Could you have named all 14 if I asked you?
Absolutely not.
No, absolutely not. Okay.